All right.
Is this one you want me to sign?
Yeah, that's fine. They sent a screenshot of the sign
Okay.
to send it to me. That's why it's so dark. And then we're going to jump around on what our agenda has here today. A rough agenda, but we do have the contract signed by the Indian Creek Youth League. And then while he's doing that, Josh, I'll go ahead and give you our minutes from last meeting.
Okay.
Start looking over. I'll make copies of this.
Okay, perfect.
Just kind of a refresh of what we did last meeting in March. The elected officers, we talked about our future potential dates for Days of Caring through Centerpoint. Talked about the Community Foundation grant, a MIBOR first round grant that we're going to wait before we apply to any further MIBOR grants until one of the main concrete pad from the bleachers that we were awarded that was completed. Talked about maybe a DNR grant update, lighting for the parking areas for those 4x4 posts, the water fountain, and some lighting for the playground, getting that bidded out so we can get the electrician to mount and wire the lighting that will shine on the playground for safety reasons, not for kids to play longer, more safety reasons for the deputies to monitor the area.
So the Days of Caring will be, we're good to go for next Monday, which would be the 13th.
Any changes we need to make to the minutes? Yep. We have a motion for approval.
Yep. Motion to approve the minutes from last meeting.
We have a second.
Good. Second.
All right. Oops, sorry. All right, park updates. So the park has had another facelift and looks great. The area where the old retaining wall was, that kind of collapsed last year, about this time last year with all the rain we had where the field swelled, that has been leveled down. They cut in a little bit to the field itself and sloped it out, so we don't have an issue of retaining wall anymore, and it'll be an area that'll be easily mowed and maintainable for ground keep. The water fountain was successfully installed, so they figured out where the issues were and picked up where DPW kind of left off last fall, and both fountains are functioning, and that fountain is located over by the playground on the upper area of the park. But also posts over on the park by Sycamore Street, posts were put in kind of a not exactly, I don't think, on true property lines, but a straight line.
Okay.
So it looks uniform. So not all posts have been put up, but they're the same 4x4 posts, which I think, later down the road when that gets really completed, we might put some more of those little solar lights. That would look good.
Okay.
Other park updates. I know he's going to be spraying. Talked to Brad the other day, and he's going to be spraying the area for the walking trail that has that gravel already there, and spraying for weeds. He has worked on the fields a little bit too, just to kind of clean them up. He doesn't sit still very well. So we're excited for what he's able to do for the town so far.
Okay.
All right, next on here. Days of Caring, you said April 13th.
Yep.
Is that all day? Remind me what time
Yes,
frame
it's
they're
all
going to.
day, so it'd be 7:30 to 3:30.
Okay. What are some of the projects that we're focusing on, since one of the projects was what he already did?
We're going to be installing the fence on that top field and removing the pile of dirt from the backside over by the smaller T-ball field.
Okay.
And then if we can come up with some millings, do millings in that parking area too.
In the parking area or on the walking trail?
So either or, whatever
Okay.
we think, whatever we deem is more important.
All right. Now, the installing the fence, I know those posts, and we had to remove those posts. They were shot. They were set in concrete. They had been really damaged. So we need to repurchase posts and all the hardware that goes with that. The fence, the chain link fence, you guys were able to salvage. That's all rolled up. So I think, I know I emailed it to myself here. Let me pull this back up. All right, so we have the steel line chain link fence posts. They're 8 feet by 1 5/8 inch width. Then we have some chain link fence dome caps, 23 of those also. Sorry, 23 fence posts, 23 caps, and then metal ties, so we can bring all those together. Also some concrete, because we need to either do every single post in concrete, which I think is what we all kind of agreed on, or at least every other one, if not every one.
Yeah, we should probably do every in concrete.
Mm-hmm. We have 23 of all of those.
Okay.
Anything else that we can think of?
Should be good to get it back up.
Okay. I have that in my cart, but and I'll figure out where those need to be delivered to, especially I have time now for next Monday, because we don't want, like you said earlier, that concrete to get wet. So once I get the address maybe to DPW, we can have it delivered this week.
Okay.
But, all right, do we have a motion for the purchase of
Yeah, I'll make a motion to purchase
those
supplies.
Okay.
I second it.
Okay. All right, DNR grant update. We were not awarded the Department of Natural Resources for Indiana, the grant, which is a big bummer that we received news the other day that we did not receive that grant. And it stinks. We spent a lot of time, a lot of energy trying to get that, and that was going to help fund the walking pathway as well as other things just to benefit the town for the park. So we'll start looking at other grants, potentially that might help focus on some of those areas and see what else we can do to get that accomplished. Mhm. Yes. That's true. Mhm. Mhm.
Is it compact? It's a roller? Okay. They're saying it's either that or a compactor, but a roller would be better for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. Because, yeah, once you get those millings in there, especially in the summer, they heat up and kind of fuse together. So, yeah, it'd be just as good as.
Yellow. It was going to be yellow. What was going to be yellow? Oh, the fence is going to be yellow?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So they're just afraid of them getting clotheslined pretty much when they're riding through there. Okay.
Is where they're going to drill, because I know they're still, the tall posts say they haven't cut them down, I don't think. Oh, did they?
Okay.
I didn't grab a picture yesterday. Well, he cut them off here. I know he did that.
Okay.
Those look a lot better with them cut down.
Okay.
Well, and I think we might want to, I kind of muttered it at the very beginning, we might want to get those solar panel lights for the top of those. It wouldn't, shine brightly. It would just, on anybody's property,
Yeah,
but you could at least see the line.
It'll just show that there's something there.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. Kind of dress it up a little bit. Okay, Indian Creek Youth League contract update. They signed that, no issues, kind of right after the last meeting. So that has been signed, and we'll get that in all of the notes. There were no changes on our contract that we had sent over them. So there could be, changes next year. 'Cause I know they wanted to eventually, as far as Indian Creek Youth League, wanted to get all of their contracts to be kind of the same with the different parks that I know we talked about that last meeting, so that they don't have to try to differentiate. It's kind of the same across the board, and I don't blame them. I understand, but we will definitely come to that, I think, and talk about it over the fall or winter as we get into next ball season.
Okay.
Park sign was installed. Looks good over on the Grant Street Park, and we already talked about the installation of posts over on Sycamore Street. Oh, that's in that area over by the basketball courts. That's all has the bulldozer and has a, was it a mini for Bobcat? Yeah. What is that for? Water line or what was that? That's okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
on.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
would be nice. Yeah, if we could come up with a money, we could at least pour the slab and get plumbing roughed up. I'm assuming I mean, I like the idea of bathrooms. It just, yeah, we'd have to see money-wise where,
Yeah.
because just a basic shelter house, no plumbing is going to be, it's going to be an added cost for sure to do plumbing and bathrooms. But, yes. Yep. Okay, yeah, I like that.
Then I need to get with you. I know Jewel, you had talked or done a lot of the community foundation grants in the past. So of what I need to do on my end and kind of a timeline so we can utilize that matching grant. So it's a 6,000 matching grant, right? Okay. Do you think they would help with any of the pathway, getting some of that paved? I know that's kind of, and that's personally my main focus is getting that paved and that walking path up and running before we started any others. But
Yes. I mean, just
we all want
from,
the
from the
same.
outside looking in, it would just make things look a lot better if we got that squared away first.
Mhm. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
And they had helped with they had helped with our first MyBoard grant to help with some of the beginning excavation work. So they were on board with it at that point. So maybe they still would be. That would be great. Put it all together. That's right. Okay. All right. Do you guys have anything else for tonight's meeting?
Nope. No.
Oh, yes.
So we're saying we did like maybe up to $3,000. That would be for a truck, full truck. Actually, we can get it done with one full truck and the forms. And then you guys have that up to say 3,000, and we'll get it.
Okay, so this would be pads that were in the existing plans that was part of the DNR grant. So these are the pads for underneath some of the bleachers area and kind of little, maybe where they be the little shoot-offs? Is that what I'm also thinking of? I was going to pull out a map and try to figure out what areas or how many we are talking about. Because one of them was to the concession stand.
Yeah.
So there's, I think, a shoot off to the concession stand that would also was going to be concrete on the other side of the restroom so that it'd be wheelchair accessible. That was a big, okay.
Okay.
So
And if you think it's going to be more than that, we can do it up to about.
okay. All right. Let me reiterate this. So the pathways, so one was the restroom,
Church.
and then the bleachers on the upper field with that gravel that always would get.
Yeah.
That was a, what did they call that in the grant? It wasn't truly part of it. That was just going to be an extra expense. Anyway, so And then where's the other one?
Yeah. By the.
Yes.
By the rest, that's the sidewalk to the restroom. So I have that one written down.
Travel, it's going straight. Oh, like straight.
I just have the restroom like sidewalk. Okay.
But
Okay.
Then there's another one, I don't know.
Let's-
I think it'd be good if you guys talk about where they should actually be, because that may need to move a little bit. We can go over there by the with us, looking at the local field. You go to the wall out there.
Yeah, that would be 4 total.
My other notebook. So that would be, then we need to make a motion to,
Purchase concrete and forms.
yep, to recommend for town council to purchase concrete and forms, right? Okay.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to address that or bring that up with them.
I'll second that.
I second.
Okay. And you said that can be up to 3,000? Okay. So, but we need to have a number for it.
Well, if you,
That's,
I mean,
the full pads. So after we maybe go and look at the park and look at the maps of what the DNR grant had, we can really circle the ones that we've deemed kind of most important. See how many truckloads of concrete, because we won't be doing it until after fall season. It's not like we need to do it for the next meeting. We could address it in May's meeting.
yeah, we'd have to go do some measuring. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Well, we want to do it right the first time. Not go, well, I wish we would have continued this on
Yeah.
a few more feet or made it wider or. Okay.
So once we do the day of carrying,
Mm-hmm.
see how far we get with all that.
Absolutely. Especially, yeah, if we can get some millings, that would be awesome anywhere.
Yeah.
But I think everyone's wanting millings and everyone's keeping the milling.
Yeah.
So that might be a hard thing. And I don't even know what those are priced out at, too.
It varies place to place, so I'll make a couple phone calls
Okay.
tomorrow and see what we can come up with.
Okay. All right. Are we all done?
Meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned at 6:58.